All right, we're going to go ahead and begin. Now, as we get ready to start this program, I'm going to begin. I'm going to have actually a brief prayer. We did pray before everyone joined us, but if we could go ahead and bow our heads and close our eyes for a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all that you continue to do for us and with us, Lord, and through us, Lord. I pray that you be with Leyla. I pray that you be with Connie, and I pray that you be with everybody that will be joining us this afternoon, Lord, as well as I pray that you be with all of those that will see this recording later, Lord. I pray that as we learn about entrepreneurship and kingdom business, Lord, that you really bless somebody here. I pray that you help us to really plant some seeds, Lord. We thank you and we love you. And I pray most importantly, we make it into the kingdom. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. As we get started, before I hand the mic over, I did want to acknowledge Miss Leyla Brown. She's going to be facilitating the dialogue this afternoon. And just to give you all a little bit of background about Leyla, she is a 10th grade student at Douglas County. She's going to definitely be our moderator this afternoon. She is the daughter of Mr. Howard and Mrs. Esther Brown. She is the middle of three children and enjoys spending time with her family. In her spare time, you will find Leyla reading, painting, or crafting. Leyla credits her heart for community service to her late grandmother, who constantly gave of her time in service to others. Just this morning, Leyla volunteered at her late grandmother's church food pantry. Leyla dreams to become an entrepreneur while pursuing a career in STEM. Her favorite scripture is Psalms 46, verses 10, which states, "Be still and know that I am God." I love it. I love it. And I definitely want to just take this time to say, I have a lot of admiration for Miss Leyla, observing her for a distance, a nice, beautiful young lady. And as an old man, I'm going to step to the side and allow Leyla to take over and as well greet Connie S. Falls, who will be leading out as well. It's all yours.
Hello. Hey, Leyla.
Hi, how are you?
Doing awesome. How are you this morning
I'm
or
doing
afternoon?
well. Before we start, I would like to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and share some knowledge with us. In honor of Women's History Month, my first question will be, who are some women that you look up to in the industry of being CEO and just around the world?
So honestly, I look up to my friends. I have really, really amazing group of women that are in the entrepreneur space that are so kind and so beautiful and have amazing businesses that give back to our community. Before I go outside to look for inspiration, I really try and look inside. So by surrounding myself with people that are amazing, that are smart, that love God, that are serving our communities, I'm able to look inside my friendship portfolio, which is what I like to call it. And then they're my motivation. One of them, her name is Joy. She owns the Look by Joy. It's a beauty company. She deals with beauty and tech and helps to make people feel beautiful, not just on the outside, but also on the inside. She has an inspirational side as well. I have another friend of mine whose name is Veronica Crafton. She owns a educational consulting company that works with kids with autism. So she's literally genuinely giving back to our community by making sure that our kids, no matter what their special needs are, that they feel loved. I have another best friend who works as an activities director. She literally has created programs that are dedicated to supporting the kids that look like us, that come from our communities, and making sure that they're feeling supported and they're feeling loved. Because many of these high school students, like I'm sure you've been through as well, everybody doesn't have the whole support system that they wish that they did. So being able to be surrounded by really amazing, smart, brilliant women is one of the best things that I can offer to tell people as far as how to find inspiration.
Yes, that is amazing. Um, Before the people who have joined, do you mind telling us how you started your business and briefly walk us through your story?
Absolutely. So I am Connie S. Falls, and the S is for systems. I used to not think I was country until I moved to Atlanta, but apparently the city that I'm from in Fresno is kind of country. I grew up, we rode horses, we, played in fields, we got our eggs from farms, but like we were kind of cool though, like not super country with the hay hanging out your mouth. Um, but I am the daughter of Elmer and Mary Barnett. Like, they were brilliant, beautiful people as well. They had me while they were in high school. So I was raised basically by my grandmother. A lot of folks in my age group, we got dropped off the grandma house. So it was my nana that basically raised me. So being from California, we didn't have the options. My high school, we had 2,000 people in my graduating class. 17 were Black. So I wasn't surrounded by the type of community that I was surrounded by here, living here in Atlanta. So by the time I got to the age of going to college, I didn't want to go. I barely made it out of high school. Like, I was the extra D student. Like, if you needed 225 credits to graduate, I had 225 barely, but it took a lot for me to be able to get out of high school. So I actually took a couple years off after I graduated high school, got a job, worked in the world out here at every kind of customer service or retail place you could think of, because I was a kid that didn't have a plan. Like, how when you're little, they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I don't know. I didn't have the doctor, lawyer, teacher, kind of plan. So I just never had any direction. So I was blessed to be able to have the opportunity to go to an HBCU. I went to Payne College in Augusta, Georgia. And I got to see so many beautiful Black people doing productive things versus how I was raised and, things that I went through as a kid. So moving to Georgia and being able to be surrounded by those types of people. I mean, the president was Black. The mayor was Black. Like, everybody was Black at our college. It showed me that I can be whatever I wanted to be. So that journey, I decided to choose business management as my undergrad. Graduated from there, did extremely well when it came to student activities, but even still, my grades weren't the best. Leadership, A, grades, C, right? But the classes I excelled in were my business classes. I love the fact that people can go out and make their own money. You telling me I ain't got to work for somebody, and if I write this business plan and I create all this operation, I build business systems, I can actually work for myself. Get out of here. So those are the classes that I excelled at. Left college, graduated, once again, barely, and literally came out and tried to get back into the workforce. Realized that wasn't the place for me to be. I started getting really bad headaches, tried to get all these different jobs, and they were just working me to death. And one day I blacked out when I was driving and from a migraine, and I crashed on the side of the road, and I called my job. I was like, bruh, I ain't never coming back. Take me off the schedule. I'm not pulling up there no more. And I sat on the couch for about a year. And my little sister, who was 11 years old at the time, was like, so you're not going to get a job? You don't have anywhere to work? Like, didn't you go to college and get an education to be able? Like, yeah. She's like, well, why don't you have a business like me? I'm the candy lady. I have all the candy. You should be an entrepreneur. And I was like, you know what? I should. She's like, well, what do you know how to do? I know how to write business plans. Like, well, do people pay you for that? It's like, yeah. Like, well, why don't we just call people and ask them if they'll pay you? And that's literally what I did. I called my friends and I asked them, could I write a business plan for them? They were like, yeah. And that's literally how I started. My 11-year-old sister roasted me and told me I should be an entrepreneur. And that's how I got here today.
Wow, that was amazing. It's really cool to see how sometimes the younger generation are the ones that push us forward to be our best. What is something rewarding, the best reward that you've gotten out of choosing this career path?
So this is going to sound real crazy, but just bear with me, okay? So it's not going to be your traditional answer.
And could we add in something else just to jump in? You use the term entrepreneur, which I know a lot of us are familiar with, but could you also, in your own definition, tell us what an entrepreneur is for the young people?
Absolutely. So an entrepreneur is someone that owns and runs their own business. Now, that can be, my sister was an entrepreneur. She was 11 years old, but she ran her own candy business. I'm talking about, she had employees, she had her books that she kept. She ran that company, her little company, from 11 until she was like 16. So she went from junior high school all the way through high school, all her Jordans, all the clothes that she wanted to buy that my dad wouldn't pay for. She bought that because she made her own money. Now, mind you, we're talking about legal practices. Y'all hear me? Don't be out here talking about I'm on these streets and I'm an entrepreneur. Don't try and get Connie twisted. Y'all hear me? So I'm talking about a purely legal business that makes you understand how you can bring in your own money. It doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to make $1 million. You can get caught up on Instagram and feel like, oh my God, if I can't rent a jet or own a Lamborghini, then I'm not an entrepreneur. Please stop it. Like that's not what constitutes an entrepreneur. The number and how much money you make, that doesn't constitute entrepreneurship. I'm older. I'm not gonna say my age. I'm older, and I just bought the car that I wanted. If you saw my other car, you'd be like, oh, she's home. She's just got off the streets. We're so proud of her. So it didn't matter what I drove. It didn't matter how much money I made, but I've been on this entrepreneur journey of owning my own, something that I could pass down to my daughter that had my name on it. I am the boss of it, although your customers and everything are bosses too. But I am the boss and I am the owner when it comes to being an entrepreneur. So that's my definition. And then what was the question, Levin?
The most rewarding thing about being an entrepreneur?
It's really my freedom of time. Like it's especially once, I've had my business now for 14 years and I have a 10-year-old daughter. The most rewarding part is her game today was an hour and a half away from where I live. It was far, but I don't have anybody saying, you've got to choose between coming into work or going to your daughter's game. Guess what I'm finna do, bro? I'm going to the game. So that freedom to be able to go and move how I want to is imperative. The other biggest thing for me, and I just realized how important it is now, is the fact, the rewarding part. My daughter Googles me relentlessly. She is a Google master. I try and tell her not to, but she loves Google. It is so rewarding to me that my child can Google my name and she's going to find speaking engagements. She's going to find positivity. She's going to help people saying kind things and testimonials. She's going to find podcast interviews. She's going to find my podcast. She's going to find so many great things about me. And what was most rewarding was her going to school one day and having to dress up as an author and her taking my book and dressing up as me. That was the most rewarding thing I have ever experienced when it came to this entrepreneurial journey. Knowing that I had created something that my child was so proud of that she wanted to go and represent her own mother in school, dressed up. She had a little eyebrows. It was awesome. But her taking my book and then being able to go to school and saying, oh, no, this book, this author, no, this is my mom. And she helps other businesses. Let me show you on Google. She Googles my friends that I just mentioned. She's Googled clients, and people are able to look and say, oh my gosh, you've come from a family that loves and supports you and is building something that's even greater than herself. That's rewarding to me.
That was beautiful. Earlier you mentioned that how Instagram has started to kind of shape the way entrepreneur lifestyles are. And I was wondering how you have used social media platforms and the internet to incorporate it into your business, and what are some benefits and pitfalls of technology?
So Instagram, so a lot of what I do, probably 90% of the business that I get comes from referrals. It's somebody like Ryan saying, hey, I know somebody that needs your services. 90% comes off the fact that I have a good name. It's because I provide good service. It's because people know that I love God. And if you don't love God, what's wrong with you? They know that that's how I feel and how I believe and how I'm going to take care of their business. So most of my business comes from referrals. And you're talking about 14 years worth of people saying, no, she's good. She's good. Work with her, build with her, let her build the back end of your business. So most of it comes from there. The part about social media, that last 10% that's important, is for people to know, like, and trust me. The first thing folks are going to do is say, oh, okay, somebody named Connie S. Falls in the S Persistence. Let me go and Google her. Let me go to her Instagram page. And if they go to my Instagram page and I'm out here throwing it in a circle, acting like I don't have no sense publicly, don't be laughing. I see your face. They're not going to want to work with me. So for me, I'm building a network of people that know, like, and trust me, that when they see the works that I do, they can go and look at my testimonials. They see that I'm working out here in these streets. It's not as much about selling. Now, I have products, but the service that I sell starts with me. And if people aren't able to research and look you up and see what you've been doing, they're not going to have what's considered social proof to know that you're actually helping people. That's why testimonials are important. That's why having videos are important. That's why posting what you're working on is important. That's why posting flyers is important. Speaking engagements like today are important. So for me, it's not as much about trying to sell myself on social media as it is for people getting to see a little look behind the scenes. You know, for as much as I care about entrepreneurship, that's a piece of my life. The bigger piece is my daughter. The biggest piece is that I like to take naps. The biggest piece is that I love family and I love my friends. So that's what you're going to see online. People like to relate to what they relate to, right? So when you go to my page and you're like, oh, I see she likes these shoes. Oh, I see she likes this, whatever it is. You're more apt to say, I would like to work with her than going on there and I'm just trying to sell you something all day. One of the downfalls, and this is extremely important when it comes to the youth, is not understanding that as soon as you post something, it does not belong to you anymore. So whether it's on Snapchat and it disappears,
Mom
it
got
doesn't
a
disappear.
minute from somebody, and she wants me to join her.
Hey, Miss Downey, your phone. There you go. If it's on Snapchat, if it's on Instagram Story, and it looks like it disappears, it doesn't disappear. It still exists. If you ever go to court of law and they're like, let's run a background check on this person, they can pull every single piece of data, every secret message that you thought you sent, every disappearing video that you thought you posted. That's still owned by Snapchat. It's still owned by Instagram. It's still owned on Twitter. No matter what you delete. And you'll see this now, especially in the media, where it's showing you specifically the things that you posted years ago, or I was only 17 then, I was only 14 when I posted that. It will come back and bite you in the butt. That is one of the downfalls of it. It's why I'm very particular about what I put on social media, because I already know there's going to be somebody that's going to come back and show that picture back up no matter what the scenario is. So be very intentional when it comes to what you're selling, what you're posting, what pictures, what videos. They are not owned by you. So that's one of the pitfalls. But the benefit on the other side is people do get to know who you are. Now you have the choice on what you want to show them.
Before you ask the next question, Leyla, I just have to shout out Jamiria for being brave enough to turn her camera on with her beautiful, colorful shirt. I appreciate you. So I appreciate everybody joining in, but I know it takes a lot. So, hey, Jamiria, go ahead and tell your mom, tell her Mr. Ryan said to send her your cash app. I'm going to send you a couple dollars for being that first person. Tell her to take you to Chick-fil-A or something.
Hey,
all right.
Come on with Chick-fil-A.
All right. Leyla.
My next question would be, over the years, what marketing strategies have you found to be valuable to the success of your company?
The biggest marketing strategy is word of mouth. It's having a good name. There's nothing beats having a good name. Think about it, like if you go to Fashion Nova, Fashion Nova is lit. I don't care what people say. If you go to Fashion Nova and you see these jeans that you think are cute, the first thing you do is what? Scroll down to the bottom and look at the references. Look and see what people said about it. Oh my gosh, they said that these have stretch in them. They say if you got wide hips, these not gonna work. Oh, it's if you're tall, these aren't gonna work. If you're too short, these aren't gonna work. You want to see what people said, right? It's word of mouth. It's what people said about you, whether it's a product, a service, or who you are as a person. The best marketing strategy is having a good name. I don't care how many Facebook ads you run. I don't care what people say. I can run all the Facebook ads and Instagram ads I want to. But if my name is trash, that money is going to be for waste. So having the best name you possibly can is the best marketing strategy. Because what happens is, even though people may post and say this, hey, work with Connie, somebody telling them, this is what she did for me. This is how she changed my life. This is the impact that she had in my business. That is going to be the best marketing strategy. Because I promise you, when people start saying crazy stuff about you and they're saying, oh, she's not providing these services, she's a liar, she's a scammer, that marketing strategy is what tanks these businesses. It's what tanks small businesses. It's what takes speakers. And they aren't able to move forward the way they want to because the negative is also a marketing strategy. So making sure that you have a positive name out here in the street is the number one strategy for me.
You done?
Yes, it is very important to have word of mouth And I think a lot of people these days with the use of social media, we're all very much tuned into our phones and trying to see who has what. But I think that with the word of mouth thing, that's very important for your business success. Now I would like to open the floor for anybody who has questions.
Oh, hey,
And as
What's
we're
up, Connie?
talking, feel free to put your questions in the chat as well, so that we can come back in the end and answer any questions that you have. With Black History Month just ending, and now we're in March, Women's History Month. As a woman of color, what is the most difficult challenge that you have faced?
Wow. So here's the thing. So I'll talk about just one aspect of my business. So I have one that people see publicly where they see all the business development and everything in that space. But I also have another business that does government contracting that works specifically with acquiring federal contracts for other small businesses. So I work with women, minorities, and veterans to acquire these contracts. Now, there is a system that has been set up before we were even here, where people of color and women are not allowed into this space. Now things are changing, but 99% of the rooms that I walk in, there's nobody in there that's my color, and there's nobody that's in there that's my gender. So walking into these meetings and having people ask me, okay, so, oh, you're the admin? Could you have your boss call me? Sir.
Mercy. Mercy.
Sir. Sir, who are you talking to? Sir. Right?
Yeah.
So walking into those types of rooms where people still expect me to be the help, I'm not the help. I hire help, and I hire help that looks like me. So you're going to see all of us walking here together. But the biggest problem that I've received with that is that there have been moments where I've lost contracts because of that, where they started off saying, oh my God, we love what you've done. We've looked at your business resume, your capability statement. We think you're so amazing. Your company is so amazing. We'd love to invite you in for an in-person interview. And I walk in that door and they're like, they're looking behind me. Right? Okay, well, could you tap Connie? Is Connie here? Hi, I am Connie S. Falls, and the S is for systems, and that's what I'm here to build for you. So knowing that there are still walls that we have to break down, knowing that there are still people that underestimate our abilities, that's the biggest struggle. But you know what? It's okay. Because what ends up happening is when I walk in that door and I fulfill that contract and I knock their socks off, guess what they do? They only want me. Because not only am I going to fulfill that job and be the best contractor that they've ever had, now they like me as a person. They know they can't play with me. They can't have the conversations that they have with some of their friends and their buddies. No, they want to work with me because they understand my work ethic. So I get to come in, kick this door down, and let them know that, yes, I am a Black woman. And yes, I know how to get the job done. And no, you can't ever disrespect me. So yes, it's a struggle, but it's okay. I'm built for this. We're built for this.
With being put in that position to have to vie for yourself and insert your not dominance, but let them know that you are the boss, were you able to build your confidence?
It takes time. It takes a lot of time, and it takes practice, because I am me being the goofy kid. Like, if you look at all my yearbooks, I am class clown. I am number one crazy. I am the ADD bounce off the walls. I have zero attention span. So y'all familiar with the whole ADD, ADHD thing? That is me. All the medication that you could possibly think of, they've had me on all of these years. And with that, I never wanted to get on a stage. I never wanted to speak. Like, even now, this is still, like, I talked to Ryan and Jeremy about it. Like, even still speaking to people is still weird for me, right? So that confidence that I had when it came to talking is because I'm not talking about anything I don't know. I only talk about things that I know. I only talk about things that I've experienced. And because I've spent so much time talking to people and encouraging them behind the scenes, I'm not on the stage, but I'm the one that pushes people on the stage. And because I get to have that conversation and pour, and God pours back into me, it builds my confidence. My quiet prayers when nobody's around and nobody hears what I have to say, God hears that. So when I'm asking him to give me the strength to not go up here and cry, because I'm an old emotional sissy Lala girl. Don't let me get up here and go, God, on the stage and cry. Do not let me get in front of these people and these tears start dripping. Because again, my story looks so much like everybody else's, but they only see where I am right now. They don't understand what that journey looked like. It's a lot of no's. It's a lot of you're not good enough. It's a lot of no, we chose somebody else, and you see the other person looks like somebody that does not look like us. So it took years worth of practice and no's. And then going back to God in my silent prayers and being like, yo, am I good enough? And he was like, what? Didn't I tell you you was the apple of my eye? What? You are the apple of my eye. And I have to recite that to this day. Man, I'm the apple of his eye. He's not going to let these people play me out here. But it's making sure that my self-talk and my prayer encourages my action. That's how I started building that confidence.
Yes, I think it's very important to sometimes take a moment, take a step back and reevaluate and talk to God in order to keep pushing and keep moving. From Jamiria, we have a question, and that says, what was your first step into starting your business?
My first step was just like I said earlier, was asking my friends. So I had never written a business plan for anybody except for my teachers, right? Because that's what I did in school. So me calling them and saying, hey, can I practice with you for free? And I did it for free. I don't do nothing free now, but I did it for free because I wanted to practice. And I knew that my friends would be honest with me. I know that they would tell me if it was trash, right? Like I have one of my homegirls, when we were young, she wanted to be a braider. She was trash. Absolutely trash. Whole edges be gone. She just braided, just scalp all into it was awful. But it took her braiding our hair for free for her to realize, okay, I don't need to do this. Okay, this is what I should do. And the practice and the practice and the practice got her better. Now she out here where she can braid blindfolds, right? For me, it came from me practicing, building, practicing and pouring into other people, starting off free, and then building into where it was a paid service. But my first step was one, asking, who needs my service? Who needs my help? And then I went to them and said, okay, well, tell me about your business and how I could help you. And they said, I'm having problems writing this business plan out. I have all these wonderful ideas in my head, but I don't know how to articulate it on paper. Okay, great. The one thing I'm great at is listening. And I'm also great at creative writing, turns out. So I could take all of your creativity, because, artsy people, I don't know which side brain, I'm sure Quest does. It's either right or left brain. But all of these people, either you could do this really well or you could do this side really well. And most people that are extremely logical thinking, they can write, but they're not creative. People that are creative aren't always great at writing logical things. So I can take the creative stuff out of your brain and then I could put it on paper. And then over time, I realized, man, I'm really great at this. I need to teach other people how to do that. And that's how I started creating the system. So that's where I started.
As you were in college and trying to figure out the path that you wanted to go on, what were some tips and skills that you learned that you have to share with any of the young people out here to practice in order to be prepared for a career in business?
Okay. So, leadership skills. I'm going to be real honest, right? The amount of information I learned in college and that I actually acquired and I kept, because school teaches you how to memorize things and take a test to pass it, right? The things that I actually really learned were business related, because that's really what I was interested in. Even though I didn't know what I wanted to be, I still was interested in business, right? So I didn't just try to memorize it. I tried to learn it. Learning and memorizing are two totally different things, right? When we think of the alphabet, we can recite it because we've memorized it. And it's easy for us. And it's think of a song, any song that comes on the radio, you can just recite the words. There's songs that I've now as an adult, I actually started listening to what the words, right? But learning it is something totally different understanding. So whatever your path is that you're excited about, learn that information. Retain that. Don't just try and memorize it for your test. I am the queen of that. So trust me, I see Jesus red handwriting saying hypocrite, but learn it. Don't just memorize it. The other side of that is get into leadership positions at school. Join SGA, start clubs, start organizations. Don't just be going to college just to be up there. And for those that struggle, because this is the truth, because I've worked with a bunch of colleges from Morehouse and Spelman, I want to say it was like 80% of the kids that we interviewed were not going to school for what they wanted to. They were going to school for what their parents told them they had to go to college for, right? 80% of those kids. That means that they were doing something that they were not passionate about, which is why they were just memorizing instead of learning it because they weren't excited about it. I don't want no parents mad at me, but you need to go to school for what you need to do, for what God called you to do. And sometimes you're the only person that's going to know that. So if you know that I plan to be a veterinarian, that's what your focus needs to be. If your focus is, I want to be an entrepreneur, you need to go and get the education that's going to help you when it comes to business. But you need to learn that information. Get involved in the school. Don't just be there. Don't just go to your class and go back to your room and go sit down somewhere. Get active. One of the blessings, because, in reality, if I would have took 5 classes, I would have been done with college as far as the knowledge that I acquired, but the relationships that I built and the organizations I was able to lead, the clubs I was able to create is what helped build my confidence. The fact that I got to go in front of my school president, and I got to go in front of my school and stand and run for SGA vice president or SBA treasurer or activities, I got to build that confidence because I put myself in leadership roles. Don't sit in your room. Join a team. Get involved in a chess club. Make sure that you're active on your yard.
So now we will open up the floor to any audience members to share with us any leadership roles that they have in their community or leadership roles that they are very interested in.
Are you hearing the echo?
Yes, I am.
It's freezing. I think you might be good now. Go ahead, Leyla. Say it again.
Will any of the audience members share some of the leadership roles that they have in the community or that they have participated in? We don't have any of leadership roles, but we do have a question from Jamiria asking, were you ever thinking about doing an actual job and doing entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. I tell everybody, go get you a job. Go get a job. You can work a job and you can run a business at the same time until your business is paying you more than that job is. Go learn a skill for free. I cannot wait. Let me give you an example because I want you guys to understand it real time. Me as a whole 30-something-year-old adult, which I'm a little older than that now, but we're not going to talk about that. Me as a whole 30-something-year-old adult, I wanted to learn how to do customer service better and serve my clients better and help my clients serve their customers better. And I was like, who has great customer service and has a great training program? I went and got a job at Nordstrom, at a retail store with a whole 6-figure business that I'm running because Nordstrom has one of the top customer service trainings in the world. The world, Craig, the world, right? And I needed to know the information that they had that people would send them from overseas to come and take this training so I can take this information and go apply it to my business and help apply it to their businesses as well. I'm not above getting a job, right? Because at the end of the day, I still have to, one, pay these bills. I have to take care of this kid. I have to make sure that all of our lifestyles are okay in the way that we want to live it. And I need the information. They've already created systems. They already know what works best. They already know what policies and procedures work best for their companies. I need to know that information. So did I ever think about getting a job? Yeah, I had a job. I had a job my whole life. My first job was at Marshall. And guess what I learned? Being unorganized makes people frustrated. If you're not in there within 1 hour of them opening, it looks like a tornado went through there. So there are people that will not shop there because it is so unorganized. I had another job where it was customer service. When I was in college, I had a customer service job where all I did was work at a call center. That entire time that I was there, 8 hours a day, I probably took 3,000 phone calls. And I got 2,995 no's all day. I learned how to accept no. I don't care about your no. No doesn't hurt my feelings anymore. No used to make me cry because I'm a girl. You tell me no.
Hey, Connie, I heard no stands for next opportunity. Somebody
exactly.
tell you no, you move on to the next opportunity. Keep it moving.
Get off my phone so I can get this next sale. I'm going to go through 2,995 no's to get 5 yeses in 8 hours. Can't nobody tell me no and hurt my feelings no more. No. Bye. Hi, thank you for calling Credit Union. This is it doesn't matter. The no's don't scare me. I'm waiting on your no. You know why? Because a strong no is better than a weak yes. No. If you say no, that means you don't need me. I can go and help somebody that does need me. But I didn't learn that until I spent 4 years working in a call center, getting told no 3,000 times a day. 2,995 times a day. I worked at Claire's as a manager there. Guess what? Sometimes you have to show people how things are done. I used to have earrings all the way up around my ears because small children would come in wanting their ear pierced, but they were afraid and they wanted to know how bad it hurt. And I would pierce my ear with the kid. I'd let them hold the little gun and I would pierce my ear live. And they would be like, oh, I'm like, yeah, it hurts, but it's not that bad, see? And I would pierce their ears. Sometimes I had to show that I went first. I had to go first. I had to be the leader in this. But all of these jobs put me into the position that I'm in now. Now I know that I had to make sure that my business was systematized before I showed somebody else how to do it. I had to make sure that I had all of my documentation in order before I showed somebody else how to do it. Because I learned all of these skills over the years. So, I ain't never been scared of no job and I ain't scared of a no. But I learned that on somebody else's dime, because no matter how little those little pennies that they were paying me, that little $7 an hour, $12 an hour, they were still paying me. What you telling me is you're gonna pay me to come here to learn how to do something that I can take back to my community and teach them how to do it? Please cut the check, sir. I'll see you at 8 a.m. So no, never been scared of a job, and I implore everyone. My daughter, when she was 8 years old, since she's been 4, she wanted to own a restaurant, right? Ashley's Cafe. It's already trademarked. Don't be trying to play me. Ashley's Cafe, that is her thing, right? And she said, I want to go work at mind you, she's my entrepreneur mind. She knows she's my kid, right? So she don't need to have a business. She's going to be a trust fund baby. She's going to graduate and she's going to have an opportunity to do whatever she want to do because I'm busting my butt making sure that she can, right? But she said, Mommy, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, but I think I should get a job. I was like, why? It's like, well, I mean, if I'm going to run a restaurant, shouldn't I go and work at a restaurant to see how it runs? I was like, you better get it, little girl. She's like, yeah. And then they're going to pay me to learn how to run a restaurant. Like, my baby, getting it. But again, yeah, don't be afraid of a job. Go get a job in the field you want to. While you're in college, while you're in high school, go intern, go for free. Go tell somebody, hey, I want to be a vet. Can I come and volunteer and help with the dogs? Can I come and feed the cats? Can I come and talk to the birds? I'll do that for free. Because guess what? You get free experience making sure that this is something that you actually want to do. Because college is expensive. It's super expensive. And before you go spend your money or your parents' money wasting time on something you're not sure you want to do, please go volunteer and see if that's what you want to do. If you say, oh my God, I want to be a phlebotomist, and then you go in and you faint the first time you see blood, you done spent all the 4 years doing something that you didn't want to do at all. So yeah, that's my
Yeah, this is good.
on that.
That was very good advice. Coupled with the leadership advice and skills that you learned in the workplace, what are some problem-solving strategies?
Hold on for
Hold
just
on,
a moment.
whoever that is, let's
Yeah, I'm
there you
trying to
go.
catch everybody, but if we're not on mute, just let me stop for a second. But if we're not on mute, let's please go ahead and mute our devices. Are y'all hearing that?
Yeah, we hear.
No, we good now. Let's see you back.
And also, I do appreciate, I see a few people join us, Valerie. I saw Josh, a few people turn our cameras on. Appreciate you all for joining us. We have Miss Connie S. Falls on here. I think, if anything, before we continue on, I want us to really understand the value that Connie's bringing to the table. I don't know if you all need to pick up your phones real quick and go to IG and look up Connie S. Falls, System Bay. Go to her website, young people. We have a real treasure here, and she's worked with many corporations. You've done work with the NBA as well, Connie?
NBA, NFL, NFL, NBA All-Stars, athletes, Dell, record labels, anything you can think of, we've done it. Tax companies, barbershops, hair salons, anything you could possibly think of, we've built the back end of it.
So we have a wealth of knowledge. So
I'm
I'm just saying, if I was yours, I might would have to turn my camera on, ask a question or something.
Y'all better get me while I'm free in here.
Exactly.
Right.
While she's smiling and free, y'all better get it.
Oh, sorry, Leyla, go ahead with your question, honey.
Thank you so much for the valuable job advice. Along with learning leadership skills in the workplace, what are some valuable problem-solving strategies that you have taken?
So I read a lot of books, and I go to conferences. But again, the biggest way for you to learn is going to be experience. When it comes to solving a problem, let me tell you how I learned how to solve problems. Y'all ready? It's going to sound crazy, but just bear with me. People love to complain. When I tell you, if somebody has an option between saying it's a nice day outside or saying they're going to say it's cold, but it's nice. People cannot wait to complain. So for any industry that I work with, I go and I Google what the number one complaints are in that industry. Let's take, for example, Fashion Nova. If I go to Fashion Nova and go to some of the blog sites that report about clothes, all they're going to talk about is complaints. Oh, this isn't right. Oh, this is bad. Or the sizing is wrong. We think that they're doing this. The material is cheap, blah, 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 blah. I go and listen to all of those complaints, and then I create solutions for all of them. So if I'm working with a boutique and I know they're like, I want to offer these kind of clothes. Okay, well, let's go find out what you shouldn't offer. Let's go look and see what the complaints are from the top clothing retailers, which Fashion Nova is one of them. Walmart and Amazon also are some of them. I'll go to the blogs and I'll go read all of the complaints. And then I can go back to that boutique and say, here's what we're not going to do. We're going to make sure, exactly, I get paid to solve problems. So here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to provide clothing that has poor quality. We're going to make sure that our shipping times are less than 4 to 5 business days. Sure, all of the things that people complain about, we create a solution to it. So as long as you do the research on whatever industry that you're in, find out what the number one complaint is, and then provide a solution. People pay you based on the size of the problem that you solve. You solve little problems, you get little money. You solve big problems, you get big money. So when you're thinking about being a leader, what kind of problems do you solve? How do you make people feel that they want to follow you? The cool thing about Jesus was he wasn't out here begging nobody for nothing. If Jesus had an Instagram page, it would not be a sales page. It would just be a page full of people of him saying where I'm about to go. Here's what I'm about to do. Y'all coming or not? That's what leadership looks like. He already know what everybody, he know all our problems. He know what our issues are. But he wasn't out here like, look, you know what? He was like, look, y'all already know what it is. I'm about to go this way. Y'all, all right, well, I'm going this way by myself. And then people started following him. But it's because they knew that he had the solution to what their problems were. So even deeper than solving the problem is making sure that you solved it for yourself. Because if you're still having that issue, which is why one of my friends, Jeremy, right? You have to make sure that you've healed from things before you try and go teach somebody else, because you'll bleed on the people and you'll hurt them. You won't even give them light because they still see you living in the dark, right? So before you go and try and be a leader, make sure that you've solved whatever that is for yourself. Before I could teach anybody about systems, I literally had to make sure I had my own systems in my own business. Let me tell you what I'm not going to teach people: how to fold laundry. Because guess who laundry not folded? Mine. So I'm not a good leader in that space. But when it comes to this business place, I am. But I had to figure that out for me first before I tried to teach somebody else.
Thank you. Such great advice. Do we have any questions for the people in the audience? Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, one question that I do have for you, Ms. Falls, is what differentiates you from other people, from other entrepreneurs? What sets you apart in what you do and what makes you so successful?
What makes me different? Me. Like, I know that it's not an arrogant answer. It's really me, right? Because what differentiates Walmart and Target? They sell the same stuff. They said, what difference Kroger from Publix? They sell the exact same stuff, but it's the branding that goes behind it, right? And the secret sauce. Because guess what? I've tried to make a Big Mac at my house, because in my mind it's really just Thousand Island, right? You know,
You froze for a second, Connie. Uh-oh, still a little froze. Can you hear Connie? We may be having a little technical difficulties. We're definitely going to respect everyone's time. So I know we will take maybe 2 more questions, or Leyla, but let's see if we can get Connie back on. There was a lot of things that stood out from what Connie said, just for everybody. One of the things was leadership. And that was a question that I had. Like, I didn't hear much feedback from anyone, but does anyone have any leadership roles now? Let me see, I'm about to let Connie back in. But in our schools, even if you're in elementary school, you know, do you have leadership roles now? Because that's what's going to really prepare you for in the future. You know, there's certain things that we may not love doing, but as Connie was sharing earlier, you know, there's things that you could pick up from it. And it was all about a mindset. She said that she worked for Nordstrom because they had good customer service. She didn't care about how much money they paid. The money that she did get paid, she saw it as, I'm just making up a number. Let's say that she made, I don't know, $500 a week working at Nordstrom. She could say $500. I could make $500 in an hour or in minutes. But she saw it as, hey, I'm getting paid the $500 to learn this customer service. I even thought about, I think it's good for young people to work at Chick-fil-A. That's a place I would like for my son to work when he gets a little bit older as well, to learn some of that customer service, the social skills that comes with it. So not only do you get to work somewhere that has the best chicken sandwich, you get paid to get trained on how they do that. But I see Connie is back. Leyla.
Hey, sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay, where was I? I'm sorry.
Before you cut out, you were mentioning how what set you apart was the fact that you were you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's me, because people make a decision on where they want to go, especially these days when you're talking about solopreneurs and companies like mine. They're choosing you based off of your personality. They're choosing you based off of the services that you could provide. They're choosing you based off of referrals. So the reason what differentiates me is really me. I'm the secret sauce. But the other part that differentiates me is the systems that I've created and the team that I've built that think like me. Because the reason why my company exists is because we create the generational documentation that helps create generational wealth. So if you don't have a process in place for how your business runs, if you don't have systems in place for how the business runs, if I died today, my business would die too, and I would have nothing to leave my daughter, which is why I'm working. So everything that I've done was built for naught, right? So I put very specific systems in place for my business to run, to have the culture that it has, where we answer the phones with smiles, where we're going to return phone calls and texts within 40 minutes of us receiving it, where the culture is important. That is what I've created. I've created that culture, much like Chick-fil-A. When we think of amazing customer service and quality and all of that stuff, we think of Chick-fil-A, right? We immediately think of Chick-fil-A. I want to be the Chick-fil-A of my industry. Everybody wants to be the Chick-fil-A of something. However, I don't want it to be Chick-fil-A as a standard. I want my company to be the standard. I want my clients' companies to be the standard. I want them to say, no, I got the customer service of Connie's company. I want you to say, oh, I'm the Connie of your industry. Do you see what I'm saying? It's because I am a part of that secret sauce, and I've created a culture around me. All of my employees, all of my team members, all have the same spirit. And I do that because I make sure that I'm hiring people that also love God. So at the center of everything, they know we're going to pray when we get on these calls. We're going to pray when we get off, and we're going to do all this in Jesus' name. He's going to get the glory out of it. So our mindset is different. So when people come on board, they don't just feel the customer service, they feel God. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just what differentiates me from other people. This is what God told me to do. God didn't tell nobody else to do this. I promise you. I know it was him because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to get on calls. I'm horrified of speaking on stages. I don't want to do any of this kind of stuff. But God, I prayed. I was like, God, why don't in 2019, in December 2019, I was like, God, why don't people understand the importance of this operational system? Why aren't people getting it? And he was like, why aren't you telling them? Oh, you rude. Me, I must not me. I'm behind the scene. Clown me, Ryan, straight roasting me. I was like, I don't do that. He's like, why aren't you telling them? Oh, I didn't know you wanted me to do it.
Yeah.
So I know it's nothing but God. So what I'm supposed to do is specifically for me. And that's what separates me from everybody else.
Before we ask that final question, just respecting everyone's time, I definitely have to commend Jamiria again. It looked like I even saw a pencil, so I see her front and center. I see Joshua. Joshua, have your mom send me that Cash App. I appreciate you being on. But Josh and Jamiria, just because I see your faces, and I do appreciate everybody that's here, but because I see your faces, it's easier for me to talk to you. Can you just tell us either one or two questions? Either what is your leadership role now, or what is something, I guess, just professionally, what is something that you want to do as you get older? Because we have Miss Connie here, and I want her to really, just kind of pour into you all or give you some solid advice. So Joshua, or Jameer. Well, we'll let Jameer go first. We'll let young ladies go first. I appreciate you being there, Jameer. Can you tell us either a leadership role that you have now, or you could share what is it that you want to do in the future?
Well, right now, okay. Well, right now, I've been working on me and my sister's website for our business, and it's been going pretty well. My mom have been helping us out a little bit, and in the future, I want to be able to be a motivational speaker and to be able to share how me and my sister's business came up and how we worked together, how God helped us out through it. And the reason why I asked the question, how would you want to be like have your entrepreneurship job and have a regular job? Because I want to be able to have my entrepreneurship business and be able to do a regular job. So yeah.
You could do all of it. You could do whatever you want to do. Sis, tell me about your business.
So me and my sister, we like a year ago, last year, we started selling our charm bracelets, and then like a month or two ago, I started building our website, and then I started building our website. I'm almost done, and it's gonna be out on Google in probably a few more weeks, and we're gonna be having our YouTube channel, and yeah, I'm making the labels for the lip gloss thing. Yeah, and I'm gonna be ordering that soon. And it's just like I have the merch and everything ready for our YouTube channel. It's a lot of stuff that I have coming for me and my sister. So I just been working hard, and God has been helping me through it a lot.
Girl, you better come on.
Yeah.
Send me your social media stuff so I can buy your bracelets and your lip gloss. I want to buy all your stuff. Whatever it is you have, I'm buying it today. Okay.
Okay.
And then the website stuff, if you send me a message on Instagram, my Instagram is Connie S. Falls. Don't forget the S, y'all. Don't forget the Z and JZ. So Connie S. Falls, send me a message. And then I want to connect you with some people that I could probably get you in to do some interning and help you build out the website.
Hey, thank you.
There we
You're
go.
welcome.
There we go. I'm not sure what happened to Josh if he's still there, but Leyla, I know that you're facilitating this, but I'm not going to let this moment go by and not share. It looks like you have something dangling around your neck, and I think that's something that you should mention. Don't be too humble about it. Go ahead and share what you have going on.
So earlier when the pandemic started, I noticed that a lot of people had a hard time keeping up with their masks and losing them and just placing them all around in different areas. And something that I wanted to create something so that people could easily keep up with it. So I started making mask chains. And so I have one on right now, but if you want, I can make chains or different designs, and they attach to your mask, and then you just put it on, and then when you're ready to take it off and eat, you could just you can just hang it around your neck.
Hey, my wife has one too, Connie. Yeah.
Send them. Girl, first of all, let me just say this as a sidebar, y'all. I am so proud of you guys for even getting on this call today, because it's a Saturday. It's nice outside. You could be doing anything. I appreciate you guys, especially you, Leyla, for taking this time out, investing in thinking of the questions that you were going to ask. You did an amazing job with moderating and interviewing. I'm super blessed to even have the opportunity to be here. But I am so inspired by you guys' businesses and the way that your mind is working. I had zero idea. When I tell you I didn't know what I was going to do with my life until I was doggone near 30, to see you guys building this stuff out in your teens, I am so proud of you. And the greatest thing about it is that you're starting so early. You're starting so early. You have plenty of time to make mistakes. You have plenty of time to learn. You have plenty of time to invest. You have plenty of time to make new changes. You have all the time in the world to be able to do this. But I'm glad that you're doing it right now. So for those of you guys that came forward and were brave enough to even tell me about it, please make sure that you connect with me. Leyla, I want to buy in bulk. Because that's something that people can use at conferences instead of lanyards. Like that's a part of what you have to have. So we're gonna start. We're gonna blow that thing up, Miss Leyla. I wish I'd have known about it today, because I just sent those over to him 500 conference. You know, he has this thing going on today, Ryan.
Oh yeah.
But that's y'all are so brilliant. I'm so proud. Come on, brown faces.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Guys, yeah, this is beautiful. If we can, even if we don't say anything, can we show our face just for a moment to let Miss Connie see our face? And thank you, Leyla. You did an excellent job. I didn't know if you had anything, Leyla, that you wanted to share. If you had any other main questions that you want to address, but if we can show our face just for a second to Miss Connie, greatly appreciate it. Let her see some of those brown faces she just mentioned. Aiden Blevins, if you don't turn that daggone camera on. There we go, Caden. There we go, Caden. Aiden, you over there chilling in the cup, man. What's going on? We see you all. I know. Okay, let me not call her out. All right, but good seeing your faces. Did you have anything else that you wanted to ask Leyla? I know I kind of took over towards the end. If you had any additional question you wanted to ask.
No, I didn't. Just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to ask you questions, Miss Falls, and the opportunity just to expand and grow.
Absolutely.
I can't turn on my camera.
And make sure that you send me a message, Leyla, because I want to give you and Jamaria my phone number, because I'd like to mentor you ladies. And whatever you need, whatever resources that I have, whatever access I have, you guys have that access to. Any door I can get you in, anybody you want to meet or talk to, I'll make sure that I make that connection for you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so I
You're welcome.
can't turn on my camera because I look so horrible. However,
that
Leyla,
profile picture is fire, though. That profile picture is fire. I'm just saying.
That's why I left there, right there. So, Leyla, you did a great job with facilitating, and I also bought one of those chains that I absolutely love. What I would like, and then Connie, you did a great job as well. I did follow you on Instagram, and I think I sent you a Facebook friend request. So I look forward to connecting with you. I really enjoyed the information. I'm also an entrepreneur, and so you spoke about time. Although it's flexible in the beginning, it's a lot of work. So you have to put in that time to get that time back out. I love that you gave, them some pointers and tips. And even for myself, just starting off, I've been an entrepreneur now this is going on my 3rd year. But taking those no's, you have to take those no's to get to those yes, and growing thick skin. And it's okay if other people want to buy something from another person. You still have to keep pushing forward, because again, 14 years later, you see where Connie is. And that was a great testament. I really appreciate that. I would like for both Leyla and Jamaria to put your Instagram information so that we can support you guys.
Absolutely.
We see you too, Valerie. I know as we wrap up, like I said, this is just really, really amazing. And I'm glad to have Connie on, just to let y'all know that it's possible. Even what Leyla shared, who knows, what could come about. A couple of years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, you wouldn't have thought we've been wearing masks. Here we are now. Across the globe, we're wearing masks. And Leyla came up with something almost solving a problem. As we go out, we see masks all over the ground, or people lose their masks. We have to wear them. So Leyla came up with a product that's, that it's trendy, and it's something that everybody could use. So she literally could get paid to solve a problem. And the crazy thing is, honestly, I heard Connie speak last week, blew my mind. Like, I've known her for, I guess, maybe roughly 2 years, but to hear some things she was able to do, and the other people on the panel, there are people out there, young folks I really want to know, who are killing it. Aiden, jump on, just because. Turn on that camera. I'm gonna just keep messing with you, because I know. Aiden, if I were to ask you how much is a lot of money, how much would you want to make in a year? Just throwing that out there. How would you give me a dollar amount that you think will feel comfortable when you get older to say that I made this in a year, I'm good?
I guess I don't know exactly what number, but if you make like 6 digits in a year, I think you'd have a pretty a good foundation for how much
Okay.
money you make.
So 6 digits in a year is
So,
good. Yeah, go ahead, Connie.
so let's say $100,000, right? So $100,000 is 6 figures. $900,000 is also 6 figures, right? So if we say 6 figures in a year, we're taking $100,000. That's $274 a day. Every day, if you made $274, I think it's like $273.83 or something like that, but $274 every single day, you would make $100,000 in a year. Now let's talk about what a product looks like. So let's say Leyla wrote an ebook and she taught kids how to do something, right? Because you could teach somebody this behind you. I don't care if it's a book about how I learned my ABCs, how I created my business, how to bake chocolate chip cookies. And now let's see, and now we're gonna sell it for $20, right? Somebody grab a calculator for me and tell me what's 20 divided by 274 or 280?
Can you say it one more time?
What's 20 divided by 280? You got to come off mute to say it, whoever has it.
Or is it
14.
So that means if every day Leyla sold a $14 ebook, she would make $100,000 in a year. Now, all of a sudden, that doesn't sound like a lot. It doesn't sound hard. Because you know, 14 people out of billions of people on earth that want to learn a skill, they'll pay $20 for an ebook for. Now you just got to find 14 people a day to buy a $20 product for you to make $100,000 in a year. When you start really calculating those numbers, it makes it realistic for you. When I started thinking of what I wanted to make, I'm like, I wanted my goal to be $10,000 a month. Well, first it started at 5, right? Like I need to be able to replace how much I'm working at this job. I'm like, okay, well, what would I need to sell to make $5,000 in a month for me to not have to come in here? Okay, great. So if I write 2 business plans and I charge $2,500 each, I only have to write 2 business plans to make $5,000 a month. Okay, I can do that. And then I did that. And then I need $10,000 a month. Okay, well, what can I do for $10,000 a month? Okay, if I write 2 business plans and I write out the SOPs for 2 businesses and I charge $2,500 for them, I could do that. I could do 4 things for 4 people and make $10,000 a month. I was like, oh, all right. These numbers, they starting to look real nice right now.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's 50,000. What do I do to make 50,000? How many people do I have to serve? Okay, for me to do a full system development now, it costs $20,000 for my company to build something out for you. So I can do 2 companies a month and get 40,000 and still do a business plan, which now they're 10,000. So I write 1 business plan and 2 full system development, of which I don't do any because I outsource it. Now I can make 50 a month. So now let's start thinking about these numbers, because most people say, oh, how much do you want to make? I want to make $1 million. Well, do you have $1 million skill? Do you have something that that people really want to learn? They're going to give you that much money for? Sometimes it's a product, sometimes it's a service, sometimes it's your knowledge, right? So now when I look at $1 million, what do I say to $1 million? I have a course that I teach people how to create their own systems. I ain't doing it. But a course that you can go online, you can go and learn for $1,000. All I need is 1,000 people to buy it. Out of the billions of people on this earth, I just need 1,000 people to give me $1,000 for this course that right now I charge $2,400 for, and people come to it live. But now I can make one course one time and charge $1,000, where I already know people gonna pay $2,500 for it. $1,000 and 1,000 people in the whole world to buy it. That's $1 million.
There we go.
I want you guys to start thinking about numbers this way, because I'm not even just thinking about the numbers because, oh, Connie wants to be balling out. Connie wants to drive a nice car. That's not what it is. You know how many more people I can help with $1 million than I can with 5,000? You know how many entrepreneurs and new business owners that I could be able to support? You know how many buildings I can buy and put homeless people in it? You know how many youth that I could invest in? That's what my money is for. You know what my tithes gonna hit for? Come on, let the blessings rain down.
Let them use you.
You feel me? But that's the mindset that we have to have. I am very much a California hippie. I can live in a tent on the side of a beach and spearfish and grill it every day. Like, I don't need stuff. Stuff don't impress me because stuff comes and goes. I done had nice stuff and I done had nothing. And I still was fly. I was still dope. And God still loved me. I was still the apple of his eye when I had to decide if I was going to have these lights turned off or I was going to get me and my daughter a 4 for 4. God still loved me. I was still the apple of his eye. So the money wasn't about, oh, I want to ball out. The money is, who can I help? How many more people can I serve? I can serve more people if I have more access to resources. That's the mindset we have to have. So when you put the numbers out there, and I'm glad that you did, Aiden, I'm glad that you said that, because you have the mindset of 100,000. Now you just got to figure out 20. Now you need to figure out a $20 product that 14 people will buy every day in the whole world.
And that $100,000 he won a year might could be done in a month. You know,
what?
We've seen people do it. And as
Absolutely.
we continue to have these series, I want to have them on. Go ahead, Connie.
I had one of my clients accidentally make $1 million in a year. And you could go and look her up. Her name is Mrs. 2 Weeks Out. She's the wife of Mr. 2 Weeks Out at the Loft. She accidentally made $1 million. She didn't even know she made it. Because not looking, if you don't know, if you haven't written it down and you don't have projections and goals and financial goals, and I only speak about it because she talks about it publicly, but if you don't know what your numbers are or what your goal is, you don't even know if you hit it or not. She literally was on some, hey, so I made $1 million. I think I should probably make this a real business because I just wanted to sell the stuff that I was wearing. Yes, baby, it's time.
Mercy.
But I want you guys to have that mindset, but not to have the mindset of the money for greed. Know that you're getting it so you can have the access to the resources to give, to build, to have. Imagine all this fish and bread falling from the sky and they out there like, nah, this is just for us. We know y'all. No, it's not just for us. It's for everybody. So make sure that you have the mindset, the spirit of God, to where the more that you acquire, the more that you can give. Yeah, that part. But again, I really sincerely thank you guys for this opportunity. This means a lot to me. I was one of those kids that was raised in the church, and then as soon as I got to have a car, I was out. Pew on the Yamaha. I ain't coming back to this place no more. Y'all ain't finna hem me to death, right? And it took years of trials and tribulations for me to find my way back. And I'm grateful enough that I had praying grandmothers and great grandmothers that prayed me through a lot of stuff that they didn't even know I was going through. So just making sure that you keep your center in God, that you stay focused, and that you keep your prayer life right, because it's not always going to be great. I've had lights off. I've had bills due. I've had all kind of issues financially over these years, and it's not easy. No matter what social media has you think, it's not easy. Like for me to really literally have to decide with this 4 for 4. Okay, Ashley, you get the burger. I'm going to have the nuggets. You get to have the drink, and then we'll split the fries. That's real life stuff. And that's been in this 14-year journey where nobody knew what I was struggling with privately. But again, but God. So just make sure that you guys keep your mind focused on him, not on this world. Make sure you're not posting crazy stuff on social media. Make sure that you're tithing and loving on God and the people that are around you, and that you're building your business and you're talking about it and you're telling people, and you keep your name good. Keep your name good. Again, I thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leyla.
Thank y'all very much. Let's all come off of mute for a second and give Connie a round of applause. I wish I had the little applause machine, with the little sound bite or whatever. But let's get a round of applause. Hey, thank you very much. Leyla, would you have any closing remarks, young lady?
I think Miss Falls said everything. She was very good. Thank you once again. And everybody, have a great and fantastic rest of your day. Enjoy the beautiful weather outside. It is very sunny since we've had a lot of rain. And yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent
Hey,
job, Layla. Connie.
hey, Ryan.
Yes. Oh, hey, Crystal.
Ryan. Hey, everybody. So I just wanted to give a quick closing remark as well as a few announcements. And I'm not sure, Ryan, if you intend to close with prayer, but I just want to say again, I want to echo the sentiments of everyone that's been on. Thank you so much, Connie, for such dropping these gems to these babies. It was great information. I too am a new entrepreneur, so I learned a lot from what you had to say, your story, your testimony. My takeaway was putting God first, letting Him lead you. Also, God blesses us so that we can bless others. So just thank you for your powerful testimony. Leyla, you did an amazing job. Thank you. Ryan, thank you for putting this all together. I really appreciate it. We are going to be doing a What's Your Story in April. So I just want you guys to save the date of April the 17th. That's our next Zoom meeting. And then that following week, I believe it's the 24th, we're going to be doing a paint in the park. So please just keep your eye out on our Instagram as well as our Facebook page for updates, program updates and everything. And I hope everybody has a blessed day. Thanks.
All right, thank you. We will close this out in prayer. So we heard the updates. We're going to go ahead and let's bow our heads and close our eyes. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to have, hour and a half time with just the young people, Lord. And we got so much wisdom and guidance, Lord. I pray that you
What were you
really,
looking for in the refrigerator? The
I pray,
turkey?
hey, let's get that
Okay.
turkey. Hold on. There we go. I praise God that we have food in our refrigerators, Lord, and AC in homes, Lord. Thank you for shelter, Lord. Thank you for just allowing us to be here, vibrant, living, Lord. I pray that you be with all the young people, those that, that felt comfortable turning the cameras on and those that didn't, Lord. I pray that everybody under the sound of our voice was blessed, and not only for ourselves, but so that we could bless those in our community, Lord. And I look forward to the day when, even we could just make reference, Leyla could make reference when she has her big company and the other young ladies and gentlemen are able to come back and reflect on this day. I pray that it played a pivotal role in our lives, Lord. I pray that you just continue to be with all of us. We thank you and we love you, and we look forward to future opportunities like this. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Tell your daughter good luck with that baseball game. Thank you for taking the time, Connie, to step out. All right. Don't slam that Maserati car door too hard. All right. All right. Everybody have a blessed day. All right. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
See you later.
All right, Valerie. All right, Jamira.